Congratulations on your score.
Thank you.
What is the breakup of your score?
It's 169 quant and 160 verbal.
Okay, that's great. So when you started training for the GRE or thinking about your GRE exam, how did you pick Jamboree? Where did you find this?
I'd already kind of trained with Jamboree on GMAT earlier. GMAT, I actually hadn't got the marks that I wanted, so I kind of transitioned into GRE. I was okay with I mean, there was no problem with the GMAT preparation. It's just that it wasn't the right fit for me in terms of GMAT verbal. So then I transitioned into GRE because I have always been reading a lot of books, so my vocabulary was already very strong. There was no critical reasoning, which was my really weak area in GMAT, and there were only about 1 or 2 questions on critical reasoning in GRE, which kind of put me in a good position because I knew I could handle those. My sentence correction in GMAT and my reading comprehension was good in GMAT, so hence the transition to GRE was much simpler for me. So I started going for GRE, like I started thinking about it in August of 2021. I gave my first exam in September. I got a 322. That time my verbal score was a 152. My quant was 170. I had gotten a full at that time. And then I wrote another exam. Then I took Jamboree. I, of course, had that teacher specifically for verbal. I didn't take any training for quant. So I just took the verbal GRE coaching. It was basically just kind of helping me with a few tricks. That's all I wanted to know. I knew all the basics. I just didn't know how to kind of effectively use my time. So that's where Tanushri, I believe, was my teacher's name. She kind of helped me a lot in terms of just finding the right tricks and where I can save time. Things where I'm not supposed to kind of waste time on. Just kind of, okay, if you're not getting it, just move on, it's fine. So kind of just building that strategy out for me, which is why I'd given another exam in October. I got a 326, where I got a 156 in verbal, so there was a 4-point increase. But that wasn't good enough either. I had got a 167 in quant, so my quant had suddenly reduced, which I kind of feared. And then I had given another one, my final one in November. So it basically became, I thought about it in August, gave my first exam in September, gave my second one in October, and gave my last one in November. And then I got a 329, a 116 verbal basically. So I would say, yes, the verbal increase wasn't more on knowledge or anything like that. It was just basically on strategy and on time saving and making sure you don't get stuck on a question. You don't know it, just move on, kind of a strategy. So basically that's the reason why I come to Jamboree. And yeah.
So while you're preparing for the GRE, so if you have to talk about, the top 2-3 things where you found the Jamboree course helpful, what would those be?
I had used Jamboree's book specifically for my vocabulary. They had good ways. One thing that Jamboree had given was that basically told me about whether a word is negative, positive, or neutral. So that was a strategy that I had gotten from there. So instead of learning the meanings of words specifically, I started learning about their intent, whether the intent of the word is negative, is it positive, is it neutral. And I started kind of, going from an elimination point of view rather than a selection point of view into the exam. And that happened, that got, I think, they'd given me a 1 second or 2 second advantage in terms of elimination in terms of selection. And that kind of pays dividends at the end. It kind of reduces the pressure on you towards the end of the exam, and that helps. And the teacher, the guide, just helped me in terms of my doubts. More of my sessions, I had done about 6 to 8 sessions with her, and all those sessions were just about how to handle those doubts, how to kind of develop strategy, because more than anything that a student needs, it's not about, see, any book can tell you what the correct answer is. Any teacher can tell you what the correct answer is. It needs to tell you where you are going wrong, what strategy you need to use to become right in future. Because no place you're going to get the same question again. It's not like the Indian education system, where you're going to learn something and the same question is going to come in the exam and you're going to think from memory, right? So it's all concept based, whether GRE or GMAT. So you need to realize where you're going wrong in the approach to the question, in the execution of the question. You're not supposed to figure out where you're going wrong in terms of the vocabulary, or you missed some word, or you didn't know whether you should put is or you should put an or you should put the. That's not what the test is about. So having that kind of person or having that kind of organization that tells you where you're going wrong, how you're going to go right is important. And more than the organization, they just need help. The rest the student only needs to figure out. So yeah, I think they helped a lot with the vocab, but vocab was what I had gone to, and for the strategy. So these were the one or two things. And
so I think, Ishank, thank you for your time. I would definitely your feedback, to your teacher. I'm sure she'll be glad to hear it. All the best with your application.
Thank you.
Get admitted to your dream college.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.